Today on the How to Drop Your Friends podcast, we've got the one, the only Road Toads. We dive into the story behind his name.
That's some proper lore. That's a How to Drop Your Friends exclusive lore.
Who's better, track cyclists or crit cyclists?
Here's the thing, though, because track is...
But that's not the question, Riley. And his dream sponsor.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
But hear me out.
Let's get into it. Wait, so why do you start drinking Celsius? It's recording.
It's just like when you get tired enough at school.
Yeah.
And then it's like the Arctic vibe. You need an Arctic vibe.
Is that a flavor?
Yeah.
Dude,
they're like they're like vape flavors. They're like you know what I mean? Like how are they coming up with this stuff?
They're like, all right, let's just what flavor? Vape.
Berry Arctic vibe. Put these on?
Yeah. You don't have to wear them yet, but once we do calls, you'll need them on. But you know, if you just want to hear your sweet voice.
No, I like this. Yeah, this is.
What's your impression of the room here in person?
Man, it's basically like my house, except there's like a bed here. I live in my garage. I don't know if people know that. Like the couch is in the garage, the bed is in the garage, and then I have just a bunch of all my bikes on like one wall.
Living the dream in the garage.
Yeah. That one's real good with the ladies. I just live in my mom's garage. Perfect. But it's really cool, and it has bikes in it.
Speaking of the ladies, have you fulfilled your quest to find
yourself a big booty Latino, eh?
I have a Colombian wife, so I approve of this like quest that you're on.
There we go. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps then. No, no, it doesn't, you know. Well, I can't see, that's the problem. I can't give them my Instagram because then they'll look at it and they'll be like, what the hell am I getting into?
You don't know. Maybe you'll find the right one that way.
I guess so. I mean, it started as a joke and then it just, you know.
The Instagram
that's how it all
or
starts.
The hunt for a big booty?
Honestly, both. But yeah.
I had a friend in college who was like that. Like he would joke around that he loved NSYNC. And by the end of the year that he started joking, like he was genuinely
That's
obsessed.
how it always starts.
Yeah.
That's how, I mean, I heard people start liking feet that way. Like it's always, like it's always a joke until it's not. And then
like one day they wake up, they're like, oh, I'm into this.
I like Celsius now, you know?
And that's it. That's, you know,
I need my
foot
Arctic
fetish
vibe.
and Celsius there.
Yeah.
Next to each other. Sponsored by Celsius.
You should get them in here. You
just
should get them here.
Stack it up. It'll be just like more cans over time.
Yeah.
What are you studying in college?
Biology and kinesiology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kinesiology is like the study of movement or something? What is that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, like basically anyone with a kines degree, they just go to PT. Like that's a physical therapy degree, basically.
Is that what you want to do?
I don't know. I think I'm finishing school because I started it and it's like, oh, I gotta finish now. But I don't know. I feel like my whole life, my very short life so far, it's just like, oh, I'll just work in this direction and then all the small stuff will figure itself out.
Well, it's probably a really good life philosophy. Yeah. I tried to like make plans, and like when I was 23, my whole life blew up. Like everything changed, and then ever since then, I've just been like holding on for dear life.
I mean, you see it too, like at school, like there'll be people that are like 19 and they're trying to graduate. I'm like, you know, oh, I'm gonna work in this job, and you know, they set up their whole career, and it's like you don't want to just like look around a little bit.
Yeah. Who knows if the world will even be around next year, so.
But then sometimes I'm scared, like 5 years down the line, I'll like look up and be like, shit, I went the wrong way.
Like I'm still in the garage.
Yeah, we gotta run it back. But
what does your mom think of your videos? Has she seen any of them?
I don't know if she understands like what it is, because she has like she does like real estate, so she has a younger business partner that like she's like, oh yeah, she's on like Facebook and she does all this marketing thing, like, you know, she knows how to utilize that stuff, like you should really get into that. Like, well, you know, I'm kind of doing the exact same thing, but it's cool. Like every immigrant parent, like they always compare you to your friends or something. Oh, look at, they got into Ivy League and they're on the tennis team or whatever. It's like, you should be more like them. And it's like, we're on the same wavelength. What are you talking about?
Like, Mom, I'm road toads. Dude, So I was at Ponies this morning, and I was telling everybody, oh, like Road Toads is coming in for a podcast, and people were thrilled. Also terrified. I'm a little worried I'm going to get canceled after this podcast.
I hope not. Yeah, is there anything off the table?
No. This episode...
Foot fetish is okay?
Foot fetish is okay.
We're a foot fetish safe space?
Yep, safe space. Talking about Celsius is questionable, but it's okay. So...
Pay us, please.
Yeah. How did you start... Like, what was your earliest memory on the bike?
I started riding as I was aging out of juniors.
Okay.
So I wasn't like, there's a lot of like COVID cyclists, but I was like right before that.
Okay, calm down, bro.
Yeah, I liked it before it was cool. I don't really, all of a sudden, like I was on a road bike and I was like, oh, this is my life now. But I think it started like when I was like 17 maybe, which is, yeah, five years ago. And I think what attracted me to bikes is like, that's the age where everybody gets like their driver's license, right? And then you always hear like these kids like, oh, now I can go wherever I want and I don't have to ask my mom to like give me a ride or whatever. That was me with bikes. So I had my dad's old like $300 like Trek 3500 or whatever. And then he was like, dude, I can just ride wherever I want and just hang out with my friends. And it was like, so I was like, dude, this is so sick. And so like, I didn't get a license until I was like 20 because I would just ride everywhere. I would ride to work. I would ride to like school. And then I would ask like my friends at school, like, oh, do you guys have bikes? Like, dude, we got to go ride. It's so cool. And then one of my friends was like, oh yeah, I have a bike, but it's like a road bike. So we can't do like trails and stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't know what a road bike was, but he pulled up, he had a BH Global Concepts with like Ultegra and zip wheels. And I was like, dude, this is so cool. At the same time, my friend Jacob, shout out to little Jacob. He was like, dude, you got to get into fixies, man. You got to get into fixies. And I looked up what a fixie was and it looked like a road bike, but it was like, you know, a road bike, you go into the shop, it's like $2,000. A fixie's like $400. So I was like, oh, it's basically the same thing. And then when I got it, it was like, this is not
the same.
How do you slow down? But that was like the wormhole and it just like evolved from there.
So you like, got, after your dad's bike, Fixie was your first bike that you got for yourself.
Yeah. Started racing in 2020 or 2021, I think. And this was the thing too. My mom was scared because she was like, dude, you're going to get hurt. Like, I see all these crashes and stuff and it's like real dangerous. And so it was like one of my first crit races ever. I crash out. I have the video. It's like I'm riding. We're going straight. It's obviously like a Cat 5. We're going straight, and somehow all of a sudden I'm on the ground. We're going 5 miles an hour, whatever. I'm like, man, this sucks.
Wait, and you don't know how you ended up on the ground?
I don't know. I think someone hit my rear wheel, and then I just bugged out, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sliding on the ground, like losing all the skin, and then someone's wheel just goes boom, like right on my neck, boom, and I'm like, oh. This is like real bad. So I essentially, at the time, I was like sneaking away. You know how like kids would like sneak away from parts? I would sneak away to like race crits. So I get to the medic tent and I sit down. She's like, dude, your head is like swelling and like, we got to take you to the hospital. Like, did you come with anybody? It's like, no, I came alone. It's like, you got to call someone. So I had to call my mom. And I was like, remember when you told me like not to race bikes and ride bikes because it was dangerous? Well, I just crashed and I'm going to the hospital and I need you to like, the EMT needs to talk to you. So I hand her the phone and she gives it back and she's like, dude, your mom is so pissed. I'm like, I know. But then, yeah, I broke C7 and then C1 and 2. I think I sprained it or something. But that was like my introduction to bike racing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an introduction. Is that why you're in the garage now?
Into
Your
the
mom's
fire.
like, you're stuck
in the doghouse.
Wait, how long was the recovery for that? So you broke one of your vertebrae.
Yeah.
Vertebra, whatever.
Yeah.
You would know your
It's
biology.
it was actually not that bad. It was like there's like a little, I don't know how to describe it. There's like a little like doohickey that comes off the end.
Yeah, I totally
And the
doohickey.
the little end piece. Just a little crack.
And you broke the little doohickey.
Yeah. So it was like during COVID time too, so I couldn't see a specialist for like 3 weeks or whatever. It's like, damn, I might have to get like, there's like halo traction where they like screw holes into your head and then like, so you can hold your head there, like surgery. I was like, God, I'm really gonna have like spinal surgery. But thankfully it wasn't that bad. And I just had to wear a brace for like 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then how long until you raced again?
So then after that, I was like, I'm done with road bikes. So I went to gravel and I did the whole like gravel racing and then ultra endurance. I was like at Unbound and BWR and all that. But then I realized like, dude, you work so hard. I think this is like a lot of ultra endurance stuff. You spend like months and months and months and then you'll have like a flat tire. Or you'll get, even if everything goes right, you're racing against like, Keegan Swenson, Peter Stetina, and it's like, wow, I spent like 30 hours a week training and I got like 50th place.
50th is still really, really good.
It's good, but it's like, how do you explain that to like someone who's not a cyclist? It's like, I have a part-time job where I try to break the top 100 at this race. I get nothing out of it.
It's such a cycling thing. I remember I was having dinner with some of my wife's friends in Miami, and it was right after I had started doing like YouTube. And one of her friends is like, "Oh, you're really getting into cycling, Mitch. Like, when are you going to be in the Tour de France?" And she was being serious. And I was like, "Oh, I'll never be in the Tour de France." And she was being really genuine. She was trying to like, "Don't sell yourself short. I bet if you worked really hard, you could get there." And I was like, "There is no way I will ever get there." And just like the shock on her face, I don't know. Cycling more than any other experience in my life has made me realize how much I suck. I'm just...
For sure. I think that's like... one of the reason, like the type of videos I make is because of that, like, what is it, Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yeah.
Where it's like, when you're Cat 3 or Cat 4 or whatever, it's like, if you can attack from the gun and just stay away, it's like, dang, I'm real strong. But once you get to like those national level races, you're like, I didn't even know you could go that fast. Like these people are so much better and yeah, it's not a running race. Like there's levels to this thing.
What's your proudest race moment?
There's not many. I'm terrible at bikes. That's the thing. I'm no slouch, at least. Like numbers wise, when I was road racing, I was like a 5 watt per kilo at one point. My sprint's like 1800.
That's amazing.
Watts peak. But then, when you look at like these guys when you get to that level, it's like, these people are so much better.
See, I'm too much of a chicken to even put myself in a situation where I can experience that firsthand. Like, I don't really race. I protect myself in my little YouTube bubble. I go to ponies where it's like 1 15-minute climb. And so I can be like, all right, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
What makes you, like, why do you still ride then? If it sounds like it's not racing anymore.
I mean, right now I'm trying out for the sprint team for the track.
Cool. How do you like that?
I really like it. I think I got burnt out on road and now it's like, it was weird because I came from like Unbound and like 7-hour rides and then I started doing road racing and then I started doing track after that and then track endurance was not short enough, so I started sprinting. Like I did the whole gambit, but I really like it. I think it's more similar to like weightlifting compared to like even like track endurance. It's not even the same sport.
Really? How's it similar to weightlifting?
It's all like proprioception. You have to know, what your body position is so you can put out the most power. And I mean, all the efforts are like under 30 seconds.
Perfect.
Under a minute. Yeah.
Love
so it's yeah, you're in the gym like 3 times a week or whatever. I feel like it's almost a gambling I have a gambler's mentality. I can't ever gamble or nothing. Cause it's like, I think it's the same as like people who climb Everest too. It's like you're wasting a bunch of money and you might get to like the top of the mountain and you have to turn around.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just have to know that I did everything and I like wasted my youth on. I want to see how far I can go basically.
Yeah. Do you have a goal of like, or is it just, you're just like raw dogging it?
I have, my first few UCI C2 races this summer. Cool. So we're going to try that. And then it'd be cool to go like Pan Ams or something like that. I don't know, but who knows? Like these types of arcs, like they take so long and you have to commit so much energy that it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same as my career. It's just like, okay, I'll just try this out. And then wherever we go is where we go.
You ready for some calls?
Let's do it. Let's get some calls going.
Get some calls. If this is your first time watching or listening to the podcast, what happens is you call in, you ask us a question, and we'll call you back and answer it. I'm curious to see what kind of calls we got today.
Yeah, this is my first time listening to the podcast. I'm not going to lie. Well, I was like, I can just talk to you in person.
Yeah, you got any questions for the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. This is my first podcast too.
Well, you're a natural so far.
First time on the mic.
First time on the mic.
Actually, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true because this is some lore we're putting out. In high school, I had a SoundCloud. My friend and I were SoundCloud rappers. Yeah.
Wait, you have to send this to me. We're going to put it in.
The Chigos, the Chinese Amigos.
The Chigos.
The Chinese Amigos. And my rap name was Young Grasshopper.
Wow.
Yeah. That's some proper lore. That's how to drop your friends exclusive lore.
Love it.
Yo, if this one's for if you didn't get into college, the college that you wanted.
And on that bombshell.
Hey, Mitch and Riley, how's it going? This is Peacock. Just out of curiosity, for Mr. Road.toads, how'd you come up with the handle? Interesting name.
My biggest fan.
You know Peacock?
Yeah, he comes to the shop all the time.
Does he know the story? Is he just
no?
called in?
I don't think anyone knows the story.
How's it going? This is Peacock.
Yo, what's up, Peacock? I'm here with Road.toads. You've got a question about his origin story. We're on the air. Riley, take it away. Oh, wait, do people know your name is Riley?
I think so.
Is that confidentiality?
No. I mean, it was never, yeah. Road.toads was never like supposed to be a stage name.
Okay.
I actually, hey, Peacock, Road.toads I didn't make that name.
What?
I don't know people Road.toads I didn't make the name and it's also not the original. Which is crazy. I don't think people know that. But my homie Max, back in the, I mean, he still does it, but back in the day, it was like, he's one of those people that takes videos of everything. So like, just like vlogging type stuff. And then he would do this cool thing where it's basically like a skate video, but for bikes.
Nice.
Like mountain bike, gravel bike type thing. And it's called road.toads. He had an account called road.toads. It's still, it's in my bio because he was like, that was the original. And I always like doing the same thing. So I was like, Max, let me make some videos and you can post it on road.toads and like, you know, I've always, since I was a kid, I liked making videos. I'm terrible at it, but
I want to say you're terrible. I think you're really good at it.
Well, I've done a lot now, but I was originally terrible at it. But yeah, I would like make videos for him and we would post them. And I was like, dude, he has like 600 followers. And that's like 600 random people are like watching the videos we're making. Is like, that's wild. I was like, dude, we can scale this up. Like I can be posted. We can push out a bunch of content. But I'm a roadie and he's like, he rides like clunkers and like steel hardtails, steel mountain bikes and stuff like that. So he's like, it's cool what you're doing, but like, why do we have your TCR on
page?
No, pretty much. But basically he was like, here, I'll make you an account called Road.toads. So it's like
you didn't even make the account.
No, I had, it's mine now, obviously. But yeah, it was the offshoot of road.toads. Which is like the road version. And then but I was like, dude, I don't want to be like this is like the little brother account. Like we gave him the controller, but we unplugged it thing, you know? And I was like, no, that's, wow. So I sat on it for like the whole summer. And then during the school year, it was the base season. So usually that's when you do like, 25 hours a week or whatever.
You, not me.
But like the training volume spiked up. I was in school full time and I had a part-time job. So the schedule got like super gnarly. At the time I was living in Garden Grove. Basically my schedule was you go to school the whole school week and then the weekend would be the long ride, but I also had work. So work was at 10. I'd have like 6-hour ride plus intervals or whatever. So I would wake up at like 3:00 in the morning. And this is when it was like, California was getting like record breaking rain too. So 3:00, it's raining, it's freezing out. I started in Garden Grove. I would ride down to the Huntington Beach, go down to like Dana Point, go up Dana Point to like Tustin, and then go back, get ready for work, go to work, come home, do school. And it was like, it was so gnarly. And the only way I could keep myself accountable was I started vlogging. So if you look at like the first few videos, it's all like ride vlogs.
Yeah.
And that's basically what started. I was just like, I'm just going to post them and keep myself accountable. And then, yeah, eventually one day I just posted like a random video that took me like 10 seconds to make. And I just threw it up. And then it got like, my boy Liam actually called me and he was like, or texted me and he was like, dude, your video got 5,000 views. I was like, whoa, no way. And then the next day I had like 10,000, 15,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. And I was like, okay, well, this is my life now, I guess. And that was it. Yeah.
What video was that?
That was the one where, the short people getting on bikes.
That one is really good.
Yeah, that was the original. And people think I made it because I'm mad that I'm short, but it was literally like I'm just gonna post this because who cares? At the time, hilarious. I had like 50 followers.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, yeah, a year later, here we are.
I remember seeing that one with like the little camera angle, like walking up to the bike and thinking like, this is hilarious. It was like one of those videos where I was like, this is so genius. I'm like angry I didn't think about it. And then after that day, I was a fan.
But yeah, shout out Max Trejo. Because, yeah, Road Toads, I didn't make the name or anything. It wasn't even like the original. It wasn't even the original name. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you then. So I noticed you've been doing a lot of track cycling. Are you going to be Track Toads now?
Oh,
it's we need like the cough button. We do,
yeah.
Maybe I should just burp. I should have just burped straight into the mic.
Yeah, go for it. Embrace it.
No, short answer, no. No.
The jump from like, what was it called? Gravel toads?
Yeah.
To road toads seems larger than the jump from road toads to track toads.
I guess so. I mean, I haven't ridden outside since the last time I did ponies, basically. I've just been at the velodrome every day.
Wow.
Pretty much. And that was I think that was New Year's, the New Year's ponies.
And that was it.
That was it. I mean, I'm probably done a handful, but yeah, it's a real grind right now.
Oh, well, Peacock, thanks for calling in. You got any more questions for Road Toads?
No, that was all, guys. Thanks for answering my question. Good to know the background of the Road Toads, which is pretty cool.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling, dude. Good talking with you.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See you, man. Bye. I'm shocked.
Yeah. There's a third Toads now. There's a...
Wait, we just hung up on Peacock.
Well, it's not me.
He's going to have to wait until afterward. Who's the third Toad?
Yeah. I work at the Cub House, and the owner, Sean, his son, just started... He's like 4 years old. He just started racing BMX.
Okay.
So... Sean was like, it'd be funny if we called, because he has like a little account for like his son about his BMX journey. That's been like 3 weeks now. But 3 weeks for a 4-year-old, that's a career.
It's like
that's a long time.
fifth of their entire life. Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, it'd be kind of funny if we did BMX toads.
Oh,
so follow BMX
nice.
toads.
BMX. I thought you were going to say baby toads.
No. No tadpoles yet. No tadpoles yet. None that I know of.
No tadpoles. Speaking of tadpoles, do you want to hold my wiener?
I love holding wieners.
He's a little hairy.
Yeah.
Remy. Sit on Riley's lap.
He's tired. Man, you were all talk.
I know.
You were all talk. Now it's time to hold wieners.
Yeah. Remy, you got to do it. Otherwise, this bit doesn't make any sense. I'll grab him. If I have to hand you my wiener myself.
Please. Dog. You have anything to say? Oh, nothing but love.
Do you have a dog?
I do. Australian Shepherd.
Oh, nice. A real dog. This is I believe you described him as a rat earlier.
No, I don't know if you know this, but every Vietnamese household has a tiny little white dog.
Really?
With the crusty eyes.
Yes, all around.
And then we all drive Lexuses. I guarantee you.
We're just doubling down on stereotypes.
It's true.
Friends. But you have an Australian Shepherd.
Well, it's technically my roommate's, but I call it mine because I get to pet him.
Your mom's?
Well, I live alone. I live with in a different
Dude,
house.
I'm so confused about your living situation. You've described it as like your mom's garage. It's
a really long story, and I don't really know how it happened, but my mom does real estate, and so she owns a bunch of rental properties, and she was like, it was something like she sold one house and then moved that family into like a pre-existing home that she already had, and then sorry, I'm getting distracted.
You can toss him if you want.
We're gonna put the wiener down. But she was basically like, yeah, I have this house, and if you rent it out, then you can stay in there. So I was like, sure. I was like, oh, it'd be a good idea if I just rent the house and live in the garage.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, smart.
But that was it.
You're your mother's son.
Yeah.
You immediately turn it into like, yeah, she gotta be proud of you.
Yeah. But then, it's just a long way. It's easier to just tell people I live in my mom's garage.
But we got the full story here. We're getting the scoop on everything. Any other like deep secrets you want to share?
I got it. Yeah. Let me think. We got to warm up.
Stay tuned. That's the hook for later in the episode.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try another call here.
Hey, Mitch, it's Andrew. I just saw all of your content that you just posted with you going to Switzerland. And me and my wife are actually planning on doing a cycling trip to Switzerland and France and the Alps as well. We were just kind of looking to see how you planned it. It seems like a big task. We're bringing our bikes. We're going to have our bike boxes, and we're going to be hitting a few different locations. So just kind of any advice that you had when you went that we should have, like we were looking at, do we rent a van so that way we can carry our bikes in these boxes everywhere? We're using public transit. Is it friendly enough to carry all that stuff with us? So anything you have, and then also just any other advice when it comes to maybe like training and stuff like that. We live here in Vermont, so we got plenty of climbs. We're planning on hitting it hard and having a good time there. So any advice we would appreciate. Thanks. Bye.
Ooh.
Awesome.
A lot of people don't know this, but when Mitch went to Switzerland, I was also in Europe at the same time. I think we were I was right next to the Swiss border. So we were within probably 30 kilometers of each other, but we never met. It never worked.
It was magical though. I felt your presence as soon as you touched down. I was like,
the one that got away.
Something changed. It was in the wind. I don't know how much good advice I'll have. My
travel tips. Yeah.
My planning is not good. I kind of just wing it.
Me neither. That was my first time traveling alone too.
Yeah.
But I survived.
You did it. Well, that's, at the end of the day, that's the most important metric. Survival.
Yeah.
If they answer. This is the gamble with the podcast.
Oh, yeah. We can leave them a voicemail.
Hi, this is Andrew. Just leave a short message and
we'll circle back.
We'll circle back. What was your favorite part about your trip last year?
This sounds really dumb, but the water. Not Italian water and jello, but we stayed in this part of the Italian Alps called Tirano, and there's springs of just a spigot and just water's coming out, and it's glacial water. Dude, it's so this is weird. This is a hard sell. This is a real hard sell. But like, imagine you're in LA and you open the tap and it's like the best glacial water you've ever drank. And it's like cold, and we were in the summer, so it's like, 100% humidity. It's like 85 out, and you can dunk your head in the trough, because like they have the trough so you can like wash your clothes or whatever. But dude, the water's so good. Like, unironically, I think that was like, man, if we could figure out how to fix LA's water.
Oh man,
I think, yeah.
LA's water is horrible. I lived in New York City before, and their water was great, and they're a big city. So like, why can't LA figure it out? I don't know why.
I thought we were like shipping water from like NorCal or something. Like, we don't have water.
It's just traveling for so long. It's picking up all this shit on the way down.
I don't know. Like the water at my school, it literally tastes like pool water. Yeah. It's so gross.
All of the water here, I'll put it through a filter. I've tried.
Yeah.
And then when I make coffee, I'm like, I'm kind of ruining this coffee by using this water, but I'm too cheap to buy like distilled water or spring water for my coffee every morning.
Yeah.
So just living half a life.
Atrocities.
Yeah. So what's your least favorite part about Italy last year? This is where we get canceled.
I didn't like the city.
Okay.
The countryside. I flew into Milan.
Okay.
And I stayed, when I was coming back, I stayed for like a day, literally like a day, but I didn't like it. And it kind of like, I was always hesitant to go to Europe. I've gone to Asia a lot just because, my cousin's half Japanese, so I would go to like Japan every like 6 months at one point. Europe was always like, you just see like all the tourist traps and like, there's too many people, and it's like a grimy, it's just LA in Europe. That's what it is. Like people who travel to LA, it's like congested, and there's a bunch of people at all the places you want to go.
Yeah.
My boss was just like, you gotta go. You gotta come to Italy. You're gonna have your mind blown. And when I went out to the countryside and you stay with the locals and like they show you all the good spots, you're just living, and it's like, dude, the countryside is where it's at. Just that slow life. I was trying to retire and just be like one of those grandpas that like just sits in his chair over his garden on the terrace. Like, dude,
you're already planning your.
I'm already there, dude. Get the charcuterie board ready. My goodness.
Yeah, man. My favorite part of the trip was probably Bormio. Did you go up that way?
Yeah. Did you go to the spa?
There's a spa there? No, I missed out.
There's a bunch of spas. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll run it back.
What made the spa special?
I actually didn't. Right. I'm just putting you on.
The
but
spot was
cool.
The water fountains. You're just like dunking yourself in there.
But like that's basically where I think Tirano is like 12K from Bormio.
And Clubhouse was doing like a pop-up over there or something?
Yeah, I actually wasn't working.
Okay.
I wasn't working, but I told my mom, I was like, I got an internship.
Oh, nice. Mom, don't watch.
I got this great internship opportunity. We have this clothing brand. I'm going to do their marketing for them. I'm going to do their marketing. So it is basically like, Mom, can you fly me to Europe so I can mess around and make videos? But internship. I was like cutting out thank you cards for them.
Nice.
That was the extent of my internship.
Wait, were these thank you cards like ransom notes? Like you're cutting letters out of a magazine? Like, thank you for buying.
No, well, the idea was that they do the pop-ups because they always do like a LA release, and they've never done like from Europe. But I just came to basically mess around and pretend like I was that rich kid that like, spend my summer in Europe. Why aren't you guys all doing it?
Why doesn't everybody travel?
Yeah. Come on, guys.
What part of Japan would you go visit? I'm curious to see like what's your like barometer comparing Milan.
We mostly Tokyo.
Okay, yeah.
We would sometimes go for like
city sucks compared to Tokyo.
Yeah. And then we would go skiing in Nagano.
Oh wow.
Which is like northern Japan. I think first time traveling outside the US, Japan's such a good pick.
It probably ruined all travel for you.
Yeah. The thing about Japan is like any hobby that you have, they're doing it times 10. You know, like RC cars, I don't know, food, cameras, headphones. You can get really expensive headphones over there. Maid cafe, you know, whatever you want.
Foot pick.
Well, yeah, feet picks. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure they got a crazy feet pick community out there. Yeah, but I've never gone with taking my bike there. Which is like the next step.
Want to go so bad. I almost went, but then like backed out last second and just left a friend hanging, and he's there right now and probably hates me.
Man,
but I got to make it up to him. Mike, I'm sorry. Yeah, dude. Japan, I've only been one time. I did like Kyoto and Tokyo. It was before I rode my bike, and I ate so much good food, and now I'm trying to like organize a bike trip just as an excuse to go back. Like I might not even touch my bike on there. You didn't burp into the mic, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing that.
So
that was a big one too.
Oh man, were you?
Sorry, guys.
You said you skied. Is it skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing, but that was I was probably like 16. That was a long time ago. That was a whole like 6 years ago.
Different life. You hadn't started riding yet.
I think I just got a road bike at that point.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice. Let's try calling Andrew again while we're still on the topic of being outside of the country. Hopefully he'll answer. If he doesn't, we'll just answer his question. Hey Andrew, how's it going? This is Mitch from How to Drop Your Friends. I'm here with Riley, aka road.toads. You got a second to talk?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Here we go.
You asked a question about traveling. You're going to Switzerland.
I am. Yeah. We're going to hit Switzerland, and then we're going to try to get some of France in there as well.
Nice. Big trip. What brought the trip along? Like, why'd you decide to do it?
Me and my wife, we haven't really done much international travel since the pandemic. We've been training pretty hard, and we kind of want to, test ourselves a little bit in the Alps.
Nice. Dude, the Alps are pretty cool. Riley and I were just talking. Riley exposed that we were in Europe at the same time. He was over in Italy while I was in Switzerland. I'm not very good at planning, but I'm going to do my best to answer your question. But maybe, Riley, do you have any recommendations on traveling with a bike?
Are you cardboard boxing it, or do you have a regular box?
We have regular boxes. We've traveled. My dad lives out in Washington, so like we've done some trips out there. And since my dad is a road cyclist as well, so we thought it was a good investment. We figured as long as we like travel with them a good amount of times. But I know that's one of those things. It's an extra thing to carry with you.
I was about to say it's definitely worth it, because I cardboard boxed it, and when I showed up to the airport, they had my box, but it was like the whole bottom was like exploded, so my whole box was open.
Oh no.
And I had like a bunch of clothes and stuff in it, and so I had to build my bike at the airport, and I had no box. Yeah, it was terrible.
How did you get back?
I think I got a box from like a local shop, but yeah.
The funny thing is, last time I was down in Florida to visit some family, and we were so I was like trying to track the bag, and I'm like, it doesn't look like it's on the plane yet, because you can track it on the app and stuff. And we're starting to pull away, and I'm looking out the window, and I see my bag and my duffel bag sitting on the tarmac.
No.
As we're like pulling away. And I look over, and I was like, well, I don't need to stress if it's on or off the plane right now. I see it leaving, and it's on the runway right now. It ended up coming in the next flight, but it's just like,
it'll get there eventually.
Flight. It's a good 3-hour flight where you're just sitting there just.
The way you're telling this is much more zen than I would have experienced.
I was not zen. I feel bad for my seatmate next to me.
You're beating on the window. Oh man, yeah, dude, I feel your pain. I did like a trip to Bolivia. My bike was missing for like 2 days, and I didn't. After that experience, I put an AirTag in my bag because for 2 days I had no idea where it was, and it was a bike that I was borrowing from a sponsor. And I was like, am I going to have to pay for this bike? Am I going to, it was, pretty stressful.
That was your BMC, right?
Yeah. Luckily it came. Dude, I would say, so you asked about public transport versus driving. I drove around the whole time. Riley, did you take public transport with your bike?
No, all the people there, I could just, I just had rides everywhere.
Okay, yeah.
But
because that was going to be my recommendation. It's like, it is worth it renting a car in Switzerland in particular.
For sure.
Because it's to get, it's all mountains and valleys. So to get anywhere, there are some trains, but it's so much easier to just have a car, especially if you have 2 bikes and bike bags. I get like a car and just like stuff them in there and drive around.
We were just talking about Japan, and the public transport in Europe is not the same. Like you'll get to where you're going, but eventually.
Yeah, especially in Italy compared to Japan. I don't want to get canceled, so I'm going to end that sentence. I would recommend getting a car. But you're doing France, you're doing Switzerland. What's your what are the big rides you're doing?
So, I mean, that'd be some good recommendations. I mean, obviously you have Alps d'Huez out there, and we were looking at like staying in Grenoble and then making the way over there. That's kind of the nice thing with the car is you can kind of get around a little easier and pick and choose. I don't think we want to do that for the
one I did with Cam.
That one might I would have thought about it, but to see you're a stronger cyclist than me, and to see your face of pain, I was like,
Well, part of that was I was just trying to keep up with Cam, and Cam's a lot stronger than me. We stayed in Briançon. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. Cam pronounced it Briançon. It's right on the Italian-French border, and so it's really nice. You're close enough you can ride to Alpe d'Huez. You don't have to do the whole loop like we did, but you could have a nice ride, like riding to Alpe d'Huez and back that day. And then there's also like the Galibier. And there are a couple like that we didn't do that are all right there, like Col de Grenon, which is like, I think that's one of the climbs that like Jonas dropped Tade on that one year when everybody was shocked. That first year Jonas like won the tour. So yeah. That's the only place I've stayed in the Alps. So it's the only place I can really recommend, or the French Alps. That was really great. If you have time, you're doing France, you're doing Switzerland. If you have time, I would say Bormio in northern Italy was my favorite place out of everywhere that I went. It's like in the foothills next to Stelvio, and there's so much good riding. I was only there for like 3 days. And so I did Stelvio, I did like another little climb nearby, and I could have spent like 2 weeks there with all the like really good riding. And apparently there's great spas. That's what Riley was saying earlier. He said, I really missed out not going to the spas. But yeah, that was amazing.
Get ready to climb. Do you have, what gearing do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I was deciding between throwing some road tires on my gravel bike just to have an extra little gearing, because that has right now 42 to 46. Otherwise, I have the 36 or what is it? Yeah, 36 to 36.
I would go as low as you can possibly go. I don't think people were warning me, but I'm gonna warn you too. Like, climbs over there are not like climbs here, where it'll be like 8-10%.
Yeah,
and you're like, man, this is
like
pretty
5
hard.
Kilometers.
It'll be like, I mean, Stelvio was like 35.
Yeah,
at like 10%, and it just never lets up.
Yeah, I had like full mountain bike gears on my bike, and I wasn't the only one. Like, I'm riding around, like there were people riding Stelvio on mountain bikes. I think just for the gearing. I
think people don't realize that like these mountain passes you're going. It's not like I don't know about Vermont, but around here like GMR is like the big mountain pass. It's not like in Europe. Europe, you start at the bottom of the mountain and you go to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So it's pretty gnarly.
I mean that's kind of what I was like. Yeah, that gearing was one of my thoughts, and then just kind of trending forward. I mean, we have are gaps around here, which I mean are pretty big. You're going to hit like 2,000 feet of climbing to 3,000 for like one of them. So like those are obviously pretty good, but yeah, like some of those, like, is it also just good to just like what's kind of your like your sweet spot to kind of get in like a good amount of endurance, I guess, for some of those climbs?
I don't know. I honestly, I just showed up and like, you'll get to, it's not like impossible. Mm-hmm. Like you see all the people in Italy or, Switzerland, there's a lot of them that are on like 80s by vintage steel road bikes and like no helmet on, no shirt on. Like, yeah, it's not impossible. Yeah.
There's other guys who could pass me here. I'm like in full threshold effort, and then it's just always like some 60-year-old dude who's been riding his whole life without a shirt. It's just like, lovely day.
Yeah, I don't know. I would embrace the suck, and like at the top of most of these passes, there's Refugios.
Yeah,
which is like this cafe, and they have like they've been there for like 70 years. And they have the most amazing food, and like I would just like go full Euro.
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice. Your climbs, you say you get 2,000, 3,000 feet. Is that over the course of the ride, or is that like one climb you're able to?
Yeah, that's one climb. Yeah, we have.
You're good, man.
We have. Yeah, I mean, those I'm not necessarily doing them every day. Like, I think that's kind of the benefit that you guys have over there is like they're pretty accessible. Mm-hmm. Like for me to get to those from my house, like it would be, I'm doing a century with those in there. It's nice because we have the smaller ones, like typical on a ride, like it's pretty easy to get to 700 foot hill. Mm-hmm. So like try to do those, let's think of like some hill repeats on them. That was the thing to stay a little more local and then to hit some of the big ones. Yeah, we have the steepest pavement now in America here, which I'm waiting for you to do.
Oh, nice! I'll have to come out. One. Yeah. No, I think, man, like. It's like Riley said, you just got to like embrace the suck. You just change your pace, right? Like you're not going to be able to go up one of these big mountains at the same pace that you go up your like 700-foot hill, but you slow down and then it's the same as being on the flat ground, just really, really slow, and you're going up. So
yeah. At the end of the day, like you're on vacation and like it's going to be the most beautiful climb you've ever done. It's just like, oh yeah, we'll just live in the moment.
My goal is just being able to keep up with my wife because she's the stronger of the two of us.
Okay, well in that case, you're in trouble. I'm sorry.
When you're not like how to drop when you was talking about how to drop your friends, I need to learn how to drop my wife.
Well, just what you got to do is take a rope and right as she's heading out, tie it to the back of her seat, and you're good to go, man.
Yeah, just don't tell her. Just make her think it's a little harder than it is. Let me go a little easier.
Nice. When is this trip?
Yeah, we're doing it at the very end of June into July.
Nice. Okay.
My wife's turning 30, and so we're kind of doing it as like this is like the big ride that we're kind of like entering into the next decade with.
That's awesome, dude. That's cool. Such a good trip. That's the perfect time to go too, because once you get up, the other thing, like Riley was saying, like you start at the bottom of the mountain, you go up to the top. You're going to be in completely different weather at the top of the mountain than you will at the bottom. So on the bottom, you're going to be like sweating just standing around, or at least I was. And then at the top, you're going to want like a jacket. So keep that in mind while you're packing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I think like up here, like you're hitting maybe like 4,000 feet at the top. So I know those, you're already starting at a much higher elevation and then you're getting up past 6,000 feet pretty quickly.
Yeah, like I think Galibier starts around 4,000 feet and then goes up to like 9 or something like that. Have you ridden in altitude before?
No, the closest is we did, we climbed up to top of Mount Rainier. But I think that was, we got up to like 6.5.
Okay.
So I know that's right but we weren't really, you're at the top at that point.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get that much like elevation in terms of like those higher altitudes.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Like some people feel like it doesn't affect them too much. Some people like affects them a lot. You won't know until you do it. the big thing for me that affects it just like affects my recovery. So if I'm at like 8,000, 9,000 feet, and then I decide for whatever reason I want to sprint, it's going to take me a lot longer to recover from that sprint than it would. But if I stay in zone 2 or whatever, I don't feel it as much. My power just kind of like drops, but I'm fine. So
yeah,
don't sprint at altitude. That's my very good advice that I can give.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did put a good point. Like, we're out there trying to have a good time. I'm not racing or anything up it either. It's going to be something to be enjoyable, but like a challenge at the same time.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited for you. It's so beautiful. It is really, really stunning. Yeah, it's magical. And don't forget to drink the water. That's the most important thing Riley and I were talking about before.
Greatest tap water ever.
I'm pumped. And, no, I mean, I appreciate you guys taking the time. And both of your channels are phenomenal. I'm seeing all of Mitch, but I mean, the Road Toad Instagram is probably the best cycling Instagram out there.
Oh, hands down. Hands down. What's your favorite Road Toads video? Do you have one?
I mean, I think my favorite one was when you were just crushing those tacos. I think about that one actually quite a bit.
Nice.
Because there's plenty of those rides when you're just done. And it's just like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to eat as many tacos as I possibly can. And I took that one to heart. So
there you go. You're already set up for Europe, man. Just replace tacos with like whatever food, local cuisine of the country you're in. Good to go.
There you go.
I think that was actually the first one where I'm just like, yeah, I'm subscribing to you. I saw that you were popping up. I'm just like, yeah, this is good. This is good. And then I got the tacos. I'm like, yeah, we're full send in this now.
Thank you. I feel like every time you eat tacos, it's like we're trying to eat as many as possible. I feel like it's always is it not always a challenge? Like
full gas tacos.
Yeah. Who eats like 3 tacos?
Who does that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially like that style of taco, it's just like it's how many can you get at a time?
Yeah.
I think you need to take him up on a track cycling ride next and test yourself on
Let's do it.
We're the next episode will be called Road Toad Drops Mitch. Thanks for calling in, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a good one.
You too. Have fun on your trip.
Travels.
See you, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's get you on the track.
I do want to try it, but I'm just like a little afraid. But you sold me on it earlier where you're like, it's a 30-second effort. That's like where I live, man. I'm not as strong as you, but I prefer to just like suffer for like 30 seconds to a minute and then not do anything for a long time.
Oh yeah, I think it's way fun. Everybody thinks like, oh yeah, they're so close together and you're going so fast and you have no brakes. But like, if you have no brakes, nobody can brake check you, for one.
That's true.
So it's like you're real close, and it's also everyone has to get certified. So it's not like Cat 5 race you can just pull up and it's like you've never ridden next to someone before. So I mean, people aren't perfect, but they have some idea of what they're doing at least at the start. Yeah.
You feel like track cycling is safer than crit racing?
I think the average track race is safer than the average road race.
Okay.
When you do crash on the track, it's pretty gnarly, but it doesn't happen too often, fortunately. Yeah.
Really
I don't know if people know, but like enduro is different, but track sprinting, you're clipped in, and then you also wear straps
on top of
over your shoes. Yeah. So you can't.
Why?
So you don't pull out a pedal.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to the wattage that a lot of people are doing, and from like a standing start, you don't want to pull out of the pedal. So
like strap that down.
Yeah. So if something happens, you're locked in.
So track pedals are not clipless pedals.
They are.
They're also not. Right? Because isn't clipless was because there's no more straps.
Yeah.
But it's got straps.
So it's like clipless too.
Clipless too.
Clipless too, yeah.
Yeah. These are the dumb places my head goes. Your mom.
My mom.
Your mom. So you like broke your neck.
Uh-huh.
How did you ever convince her to let you ride a bike again? And race. Now you're racing again.
Yeah. I think she realized that I was like, I think even from the start of like that whole fiasco, it was like, you're going to tell me that I shouldn't do these things and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do them anyways. Like whether you want to support me or not, like it's probably going to end up this way. And like my whole family, extended family, it's very like model minority. You can become a doctor, you can become an engineer, a nurse. Oh, if you don't want to be a nurse, you can be a dentist though. You know, we're giving you a lot of options. All my family is like medical or engineering or something like that. And then I'm like the one guy that's like doing random bike stuff. That just like,
Well, you're like a dentist in that you have a bike.
That's true.
There you go.
I have.
You have an honorary.
I spend dentist money.
Spend dentist money. There you go.
Yeah, I think I was at nationals, and I got 4th. I think it was gravel, the first gravel nationals they ever had. Granted, it was a field of like, it ended up being like a field of 12. But I was
better
like,
than 50%.
Yeah, but I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm out here, and like no support. I got this far.
Yeah.
So like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna make money or anything like that, but I'll figure it out eventually. That's kind of like what that's kind of how it happened. She's like, okay, whatever, do your thing.
You got 4th at nationals.
Yeah, you can stay in my garage.
Slightly less disappointing. When I was looking for a way to transition into your Instagram account again, but I couldn't figure out one. So I just made a weird noise. Instagram. It's a thing. Do you also have TikTok? Or is it Instagram?
I do, but I put like 0 effort into it. Like I'll just like, I haven't like re-uploaded my videos on TikTok in a while, and I'll just throw them all on there.
Okay, cool.
But everyone's like, oh, you need to get on TikTok, and you know, you can finally, you know, get paid for all your views or whatever. It's like, I don't think people realize that like 1 million views on TikTok gets you like $20.
Yeah.
It's like
it's not even crazy money on YouTube.
Yeah.
My biggest video, I think, is like 1.2 million views, and it's not nothing, but I think that video's made $7,000 for the amount of effort that I put. Like that, the planning, the race, the editing, like that was like 2 months of work.
Yeah.
For like $7,000. And so it's like people think like, oh, if you have 1 million views on a video, you're making so much money.
Yeah. That's like, the thing too. Like, I think people think there's like this thing like making it and like, oh, you know, once you get the blue check or whatever, the blue check doesn't matter anymore. But like, that was the thing. Yeah. Once you get that like K on your account, like, you know, all these brands are going to pay you and, you know, you're going to get all this free stuff and sponsorships and whatever. But it's like, it was never to make money. It was never to sell whatever. I think people don't realize that like all that stuff has a cost. And like now that I'm in a position where I could make money off of it, but it's like free stuff is not free.
No.
It's not. Yeah.
And
I think it's more important to just be like, I want to do what I want to do. And then, yeah, that's pretty much, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah, dude. It's wise. It really is not free. Like there's an expectation, and then it affects your relationship with the audience. What is the stuff you want to do? What's your favorite video you've made?
I mean, the eating ones were great.
Yeah.
But in the future, I think I really want to do like, this is like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I really want to do like travel stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I mean, the bike scene city to city is so different. And like, I think it would be really cool. I don't know how, I don't know where I would get the money, but like if I went to like different, you know, Tokyo, this is the ride scene in Tokyo, this is the ride scene in Italy, this is the ride scene in Girona. Like, I think it'd be really cool to do like a travel show, kind of similar to like, you know, like going back to like skating videos. I feel like I'm so enamored. I've never touched a skateboard before.
Really?
But I love watching skate videos where it's just like a group of like 5 dudes and they're just out on the town, and like the city is the backdrop, but it's really just like they're capturing like people hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'd be really cool.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Do you watch Andrix videos? Shreddy Pendergrass on YouTube? I
think I've seen them.
Because I feel like his videos kind of capture that vibe for this side of LA.
Yeah.
Where it's like just him and his friends, they're cruising around. I watch his videos and I get FOMO, and it's like, this is amazing. These guys are so cool.
Yeah.
And it captures like the scene so well.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing that, going around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you're sponsored that wants to have Road Toads sell out,
bring my line, please. Please.
Do you have a dream sponsor? Besides Celsius, obviously.
Celsius. Oh, OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
But hear me out. I just saw that they started doing helmets. The OnlyFans sponsors Cyclists now.
Okay.
Where it's like, because remember like back in the day, if someone had like a Red Bull helmet, they were on like Red Bull TV, you'd be like, whoa, they have the Red Bull helmet. And I don't know. I don't mean, I'll probably never get a Red Bull helmet. I'm not cool enough, but
OnlyFans.
So many people have the Red Bull helmet.
It's true.
That it's like, it's cool, but it's like,
it's not as
it's like
cool.
Oakley, what was it? Factory Racing? Factory Pilot.
Yeah.
Oakley Factory Pilot. Everyone's the Oakley Factory Pilot now.
Yeah.
Like it used to be like, oh, that guy's Oakley Factory Pilot. Like that's so cool. But now the new one is OnlyFans. Yeah, they're giving out OnlyFans helmets.
What does the OnlyFans helmet look like?
They're so good.
Hold it up. I'll put it on.
There's like a downhill guy. Oh, OnlyFans.
Wait, is it the full? It's the downhill.
It's the full face,
with,
but it's like.
All right, you got to wear that
It's
while
like,
you're.
dude, this is so cool.
Oh, that is cool.
If I can get an OnlyFans road helmet, like please.
No, that's on.
Please, I need an OnlyFans Aero helmet.
No, I think you should wear the downhill helmet.
While you're on the track.
Show up to the group ride wearing that thing.
I would. That would be so cool. But no, I don't really have dream sponsors. Honestly, like just because the way I make videos is like so, like I was saying, I'll figure it out 5 minutes before. Trying to pitch that to a sponsor is like a really hard sell.
Yeah.
And I don't like, oh, I can get you this, and this videos and they'll get this reach and like predict the future. I don't know what's happening. I started this like a year ago, like doing some random video. I don't know what's going on. I just got a case. This is like, I've never had a camera. You know, the case is a big deal. This is like equipment. Because before I had no case, so you could like hang it you could balance it on the flat part of the phone.
Okay.
But then it would like slip. So I was like, ooh, if I get a plastic case, like you can hang it here and it won't like slide down.
Go.
Like that's huge. I've never had like a tripod or anything. Like this is I'm a very like ragtag ghetto setup.
Nah, man. I feel like your videos are distilled down to like a really pure form. That once you start adding too much shit, like in this room, it just changes what it is, inevitably, no matter how much you try to like keep it the same. So I don't know. You just got OnlyFans are probably into that. You know, they're like, you use protection promoting of that. I guess I don't know. What's your least favorite thing about road cycling culture?
I think people think too hard when it comes to road cycling. Like people are always like, oh, I don't know if I should upgrade this. Like, is this the most cost effective way to like gain watts or whatever? And like, I think, you know, racing the national circuit, even if you're Cat 1 or what is that in other places like Category A, you're not making money off of it. You're not leaving a legacy or whatever. I think we need to step back and just be like, this is just a hobby. This is for fun. Like it takes up it's okay. I like obsessing over stuff and geeking out about stuff, but like why can't we just buy carbon wheels because they look cool? Or if they make you want to ride the bike more, like, isn't that enough? Than like trying to justify spending $2,000 on like some, one watt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just what happened to buying stuff because it was cool?
Exactly. The justification is where I get annoyed. It's
Let's stop lying to ourselves.
Like, yeah, what are you actually doing this for? You're doing it because you want to do it, and maybe it makes you're doing it because you want to be fast, or you're doing it because it looks cool. But whatever, own what that is instead of trying to justify it.
Yeah,
totally on board there. That's what we're going to get canceled for. Not talking about cycling in Europe.
Yeah.
You praise European water, but now all the dentists that you just barely joined are all going to revolt against you.
Sorry, guys.
What is so let's double down. What's your favorite bike that you've owned? No, you said gear doesn't matter.
I haven't owned very many.
Or favorite bike that you've ridden?
I really like my TCR. I have a man. I mean, let's do a bike history.
Okay.
I
like it.
There's not that many, so this won't be a very long story. Started with the Fixie. Realized it wasn't a road bike. So
astute observation.
So got a road bike. It was a Fuji Gran Fondo with like a mixed match of Ultegra and like Fuji parts. And then I had, what was it? I sold that one and bought a Cannondale, I think it was a gravel bike. I did Cannondale like CAD X. That one was okay. And then I had an Amanda, crashed the Amanda, and that's when I bought the TCR. Yeah, my friend bought a Maglia Rosa Giro TCR, and it wasn't even his size. He just bought it. Like, this guy was like going out of business, and he was like, I'll sell you this $12,000 bike for like $4,000.
He's like, it's too good of a deal.
Yeah. So it's a size small 51.5 TCR. Never rode it. The TCR has like the seat mast. Mm-hmm. He never cut the ISP. So he literally just sat in his room for like, I don't know, however, 2017 to I think it was like 2023 I bought it. Yeah, that bike's cool. I'm never going to sell that one. I think that's got to be my favorite one.
What do you like about it?
I don't know either. I think it's the same thing. I'm not one of those people that like, I've ridden steel, I've ridden aluminum, I've ridden carbon. I can't really tell a difference. The only time I can tell a difference is like on the track when you're just completely pinning it. You can tell the difference between carbon and aluminum. And when you're going like we're going like 70K an hour.
That's so great.
So those marginal gains you can feel actually, but everything else is like, yeah, I just really like that bike. If it's good enough.
Do you feel like you don't care so much about the marginal gains on the road because they're so apparent on the track? Like, are you getting that fix there on the track?
I think so. It's also like track sprinting specifically. The flying 200 is like a 10-second effort if you're good. And the gains you make are literally like tenths of a second. Wow. Or hundredths of a second. It's like, I took a tenth off my 200. Like, that's a huge PR.
Okay.
So like double disc, aero bars, aero seat posts, like those things actually matter. And you can tell the difference between an aero helmet and a non-aero helmet. You'll lose like a tenth or 2/10. But yeah, the road, like, I mean, I'm sure it matters. But like, people are winning on not fast bikes.
I mean, it doesn't matter for somebody like me. I'm getting dropped by people like on a still bike that weighs 50 pounds. So
yeah,
what's the point? Are you ready for the last segment?
What's the last segment?
Last segment's called Cycling Court. I'm going to ask you a controversial question. You got your gavel. You're going to have to pass judgment on this for the entire cycling community.
Okay.
Whatever Judge Road.toads says goes from this day forward.
Oh man.
So for every dentist
Watch out,
in
guys.
the world, you're in control now. Your mom's going to be really proud because you're affecting dentists worldwide.
Yeah, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 out of 10.
10
better
out
agree.
of 10. Dude, that's better than toothpaste, okay?
Yeah.
All
Watch
right.
out, guys. So I hit the gavel after.
I'm going to ask you a question.
I've never watched like.
You never
court
watched
stuff.
like Judge
No.
Judy?
I had
You never got in
my
trouble?
sister. No, my sister had the remote, so we were watching Disney Channel.
This is a question I would ask the audience. Which of us do you think has been to court and sentenced?
I had jury duty for the first time,
Okay, nice.
like a few months ago.
I had a parole officer in high school.
Wow,
That's a story for another time.
it's a bad boy.
Yeah, as you can tell. All right. Your question, Judge Road Toads. Who is stronger? The average track cyclist or the average crit racer?
Oh man,
And whoever is not stronger has to give up their discipline forever.
man. Here's the thing though, because track is so small that like it's also it's not elitist, but it's really hard to break into. Like you really have to want.
But that's not the question, Riley. The question's who's stronger. We're not here to make friends.
Man.
We're here to pass judgment.
I gotta go track. Were we hitting the thing? I gotta go track.
If you're a crit racer, dump your bike, get a track
Here's the thing though. Crit racing is way more accessible. So way more people can do
That
it.
wasn't the question. We don't care about that. Get rid of your bike.
Get rid of your bikes, guys.
Dentist, start going to the track. You got the money. It's accessible for the dentist.
Oh, dude, track bikes can get so expensive. So expensive.
Which was the one that was the Lotus track bike? Is that like the peak one? I saw. How much was that one?
60 grand, 80
60 grand?
Yeah, frames. If you can get like a sub $10,000 frame, that's a good day.
Really?
Yeah, you can spend 20 grand so fast.
Why are track stems so long?
You want to be as long and low as possible.
It's
kind of funny. My track bike is a 57.
Really?
I'm 5'6". What is that? 169 centimeter.
Okay.
It's for UCI regulation.
So it's 57, and then how long is the stem?
I'm getting a 160, -17.
A 57 centimeter frame.
Yeah.
And 160.
The idea is, well, one, track sprinting, you're not on the bike very long.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like TT, imagine TT position.
Yeah.
But that's just where your bars are.
Okay.
So, and yeah, you can't have like an absurdly long stem for UCI regulation. So everybody runs like the biggest frame they can possibly fit on.
The dentist got to spend a lot of money to get on board.
Spend that money.
Spend that money. Thanks for coming in, man. Where can people find you?
Road.toads.
And on OnlyFans?
Give me the helmet first.
Get the helmet.
And then same handle for TikTok.
Perfect.
But it's the same stuff. Yeah.
Pick your poison.
They're both the same poison, but